If you need to go, thanks for joining. Can listen to the recording that will be posted to the Power Time Practice YouTube and also the blog this week. You can also look in your inbox for the email newsletter that gets sent out that will have all the information that was shared today so that you have a heads up on the power times that are coming up, and you can tap into that energy, that consciousness, so that your life can move more smoothly with grace and ease. Have a blessed week ahead, and we'll see you next time. Those of you who are going to stay, this is part of the call where here at Power Time Practice, we are going to share our experiences during the meditation. Maybe some people had some insights that might be helpful for others who are new to the program or who have been on the path for a long time and just need some inspiration, some motivation to continue to dive deeper into their practices. So you can also ask questions, and we'll have a lively discussion, no doubt, as we do every week. So if you're on the phone, you can press *6. If you are on Zoom, then I'm going to open the line so that you can just unmute your mic when you want to say something.
Hi, Shutarita.
Hi, Brenda. How are you?
I'm good. And maybe this is irrelevant, but when you first started chanting, like I couldn't stop sneezing. Just is that anything or not?
Yes, money is coming to you.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad you heard that.
That's one explanation or meaning of sneezing, as Dr. Pillai shared. It can also be a lot of karma is being removed. Sneezing is an indication that the Kundalini energy is really has become really active in you.
That's interesting because I never feel anything in my spine. I'm always waiting for it to heat up, and it never does.
There you go. Sneeze away.
Okay, then one other thing happened. When you were going through the chakras and you got to the throat chakra, I started having a coughing fit. So.
Yeah, and that's where you're clearing the karma, right?
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So do you have some water? You're going to be okay, Brenda?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, these are good physical signs. This is what we want to do. We want to feel what is going on inside of us, and are we connecting to God? God is in us, and we need to get out of the way. So sneezing, coughing, those are physical experiences that are out of our control. We cannot control when that's happening. So we know that the God is pushing some obstacle out of the way, some karma, some congested energy that is blocking us from communing with our highest self, our God self, the high power, the power of the universe. So thank you so much for sharing, Brenda. It's very helpful for all of us to know we're connecting with God when that happens. Asha.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm fine. From the time I start meditating today, I was crying, and I don't know why. I cry. I keep crying till you stop, and I'm still crying like uh, something happened or something, but it is so strange crying, but not, I have no problem, but I'm okay. My health is okay, but I feel like crying, and you talk about the goddess and you ask the praying, you do the mantra and you do, and more I start crying. So okay, I just don't want to be disturbed about my crying, but I want to be concentrate, but they don't let me. I keep crying. I'm talking to you and the water is coming from my eyes.
It's a beautiful shared experience, Asha. Again, this is an indication that we've all been exposed to a tremendous amount of God, goddess energy coming off the full moon during this powerful time of the year with Dr. Pillai, our guru, that which is the energy to dispel the darkness. So it's not us that is crying, it is our soul. Our soul is saying, thank God you found me. So when we have these uncontrollable tears, it's like your long lost friend from forever and ever, your BFF forever and ever, is finally communing with you. You're finally connecting at that very deep, non-physical, non-intellectual, non-emotional. It's so beyond all that. It's indescribable, and you can't control it. So it is a sign again that you're communing with your highest self, your God self, your goddess self, Asha.
Okay, and yesterday night, like usual, I fall asleep. But yesterday night, um, when you finish before you start the fire ritual, I was awake, and they bring me a place where last time I have the same um, dream. I was in a big place, a pink place with the big figures and big, very big person. And I was so small between all of them. And there was like warriors, like I can, Indians, but with big muscles. And they was all around me. And it was feeling like I was floating. I was asleep, but I feel like I was floating, and I sleep very good. After that, I hear the people talking after, but I was on, but I was asleep. I hear everything you talk. I hear everything, the movement when you do everything, but I was asleep, but I was awake. I can explain what it is, but it is I was between in 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 the other side and this side, so I can explain how it is, but it is so beautiful feeling, and I cry too because I don't know what it is, and my body was completely tingling. It is a vibration, very very hard, and I fall asleep, and I say, okay, before this morning, let me see if this tingalingaling will go or come back. But this morning, I start crying, cry, and it is so beautiful. The feeling, it is not bad feeling. It is something that like you feel a relief. You feel like a relief, and um, it's something very beautiful. And really, I can't explain it is. And yesterday, before the fire lap start, very early before, I live close to the sea, and I have buy a lot of coconut, and I bring my son with me, and I say, my son, I gonna teach you something to break coconut. We go break coconut today at the beach, and I do tarpanam at the beach also. I bring all my stuff to the beach, and I put them on the stone like the Indians, and we was uh, doing mantra and praying to the coconut, to Lord Ganesh, and it was so beautiful moment, and it was something like a miracle. Yeah, the first time I did it around the beach like that, and the tarpanam also with the rice and the black sesame seed and the water. And I bring my copper thing with me. I bring water with me in the car. Be careful that the water don't spend out from the copper thing. It was an adventure, but it was so amazingly great moment we spent with my son in that moment. And it was seeing the sun going down, and before the time I check the time because I know you can do it after that time. So it was so amazing. We come home and I prepare myself for the fire lap, and he tell me, mommy, don't forget to do your fire lap, don't sleep. I come check on you, don't sleep, mama, don't sleep. And he was really checking on me, and that time I tell him, okay, Kim, let me just relax now, because it is not question I want to sleep, because I'm not tired, because they put me to sleep. And you say, no, I know mommy is lazy. Mommy want to say, no, it is not me. It is the gods who's doing this with me. And I put my altar beautiful. I put all the things for them. And I come in my room and I fall asleep. And keeping listening to you, and I see my iPad and I follow. And I say, okay, I want to stay up. I want to stay up. I will not sleep. It is okay. I will not sleep. Oh no. I hear and then I see myself floating. I say, okay, I'm floating. Is this real? I see I see myself big like huge people. I'm very small. And I say, no, no, no. I'm dreaming or what it is. But later on, I say, okay, I'm open or do what you want to do with me, but do something good with me. And then I go asleep till in the morning. But it is very nice feeling, and I like to share it with you. And thank you very much to hear me and guide me, because when I started crying this morning, I said, okay, what is going on with me? What is wrong? Why I'm crying? Is something going to happen? Is something bad coming? You start thinking bad things before you think the good things. I say, no, no, no. This is cannot be bad things. This have to be something good. Okay, so I keep in my meditation. I was fighting with the crying to don't distract me to meditate. So it is such a crazy thing, but it is very beautiful. And thank you once more to this special moment. It is so amazingly the power of Dr. Pillai, and I feel him very close. And it will be for me a honor to know him someday, and I will. The day is coming soon. And thank you very much, Dr. Pillai, to make this possible, and to you too, Sucharita, and all the people who's listening to me. It's not because it is the moment, because you have to feel it. It is something that you cannot describe what it is, but it is beautiful. It is so beautiful. It is amazingly beautiful. And have a good day and a nice weekend for everybody. And thank you for hearing me. It is Asha
Oh,
from Aruba.
thank you, Asha from Aruba. It's so awesome that you shared that experience so everyone can drink it up just like I did. And that's the amazing thing. When we come together, we can experience the divine moving through and revealing itself through the experiences that are shared. So thank you so much, Asha, and God bless you and your son.
Thank you. You're welcome. You too. Okay,
Thank
have
you.
a good day.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye. Jacine, and I
Yeah,
think,
Rita, how are you?
Jacine, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I have a question concerning, there's a number of people in my life who are sharing their uh, problems with me, and I am having a problem about knowing where my boundaries are, and it happens that I don't know, is this my pain or your pain? And I am very willing to give whatever I can to alleviate someone else's problem with insights or just being present with them. But I do not want to pick up the karma. I have enough to deal with. So where I just don't know where I end and the other person begins when this happens. And how do I protect myself?
It's a great question. And here's the thing, when we're on the spiritual path, we are cracking ourselves open. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
when we do that, we become vulnerable, we become hypersensitive,
yeah,
we feel the pain. I mean, being spiritual anyways, people are very empathetic, and being an empath, it just happens.
yeah,
So how do we create that safe space without creating boundaries to shut people out, even if they're healthy boundaries? In this psychological world of naming things, establishing a healthy boundary is healthy. However, being an empath, you can't, shut that off. So how do we know when we have, when we need to kind of draw that invisible line in the sand, so to speak, or create that energetic boundary? It's by doing our practices, and people around us, if we're sharing with them and we know that what they're going through is very difficult, and we don't have the energy at that particular time. So we've got to do our practices so that we feel protected, we feel the energy, we feel empowered. And then if the God inside of us decides, hey, go and listen to this person, relieve them of suffering, help them out where you can, then the God is saying, don't worry, I got your back. But if you are not energized, you haven't been doing your spiritual practices, you know, for whatever reason, you're feeling low in your energy yourself, maybe it's planets that are pinging you and, you know, grabbing your attention and making you to feel lower in your vibration, such that when your friend or the person in your life calls you or you're helping them out, maybe that's your profession, to do healing on any level, you have to just say to yourself that, you know, I can't do this. And then you wait for a time where you can. So waning moon cycle from the full moon to the new moon is a time where you're going more internally. So you may not reach out to others and do, you know, external help or listen to their problems or whoever it is that you're healing them. So on the waxing cycle, you might feel more empowered and more energized. There's more light, lightness of being. So you will have the energy and intelligence to do that. So that might be something that you want to explore, the waning and the waxing cycles. There are power times where you can be with others. So again, every week there's so many power times, but there's major ones that we've pointed out this week. Where, you know, if someone is struggling mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, do be with them. If you have to be with them on one of those power days, maybe on a karma busting day. So all the karma, you're both going through the door or the window of karma where it's getting cleansed. So all at once, so you don't have to do it separately. You're in that space and you can have done your Pradosham practices or Tirana Lakantam chanting before. So you open the door and the cleansing is there.
So do you not suggest to do a coconut busting party kind of thing, to share that ritual with others?
Oh yes, you can do that if they're open to it. Definitely share the coconut busting, just like Asha was sharing about her son. He took her son down to the ocean and showed him how to do the coconut busting in the Tarpanam. So if your friend or whoever it is, your family member, colleague, they are open to it, then do it. If you know that they're not going to be open to it, you've already got enough karma. So you're going to get pushback.
Yeah.
Right? So just do it on their behalf. Maybe you take a coconut, you say, okay, this coconut is for me, and then you crack it, and then you take another one and you say, my friend cannot do this, but through this surrogate technology, I'm going to put the karma in the coconut, and it's not going to touch me.
Okay.
You can do the same with a lemon or a lime as well.
Yeah. Okay. Now I have another question. Thank you. That's been very helpful. When I feel this pain and it almost, I mean, this sounds perverse, but it turns into pleasure. What do you say about that? Have you ever had?
Yeah, there's a fine line between pleasure and pain, right?
Yeah.
So that is natural. So we're all seeking pleasurable experiences. We're all seeking, you know, to feel good all the time. But how do we know when we are feeling good all the time? Sometimes that can just be like, you know, how the Buddha was. He was a prince and he had the kingdom and there was no pain in his life. There was no suffering in his life. But it was only until he went outside of the kingdom walls that he felt the pain and the suffering. So there's a fine line. You can be the same person, but you're exposed to that energy to understand what is pain and what is pleasure. And they're both fleeting.
Now, when you experience the pain, it's my understanding not to suppress it, but to just let it be, because that's the reality. It's there. It's imprinted on wherever, and physically and emotionally and spiritually, it's there. When it changes into a strange kind of pleasure, it's not the pleasure that I have when I eat ice cream kind of thing. But can I assume that the pain changing into pleasure, that is a release of the karma?
Yeah, it's great because there's a saying, because we introduced, or we tapped into the energy of Kalabhairava, because his energy is available on the 8th waning moon, which it is right now.
Yeah.
And perfect time on a Saturday, because Saturn delivers very difficult karmas. So he will help us to get to the other side of pain. So when Bhairava is, so the saying is, Bhairava is on the other side of pain. And you're like, oh, I don't want to be in pain. I want to avert pain. But if you do, like you're sharing, Jazine, if you do move through it through meditation and you feel pain leaving you, it's such a relief, such a pleasure
Yeah,
to be
it's
on the other
incredible.
side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so sometimes I just feel like, okay, bring it on. I'll move through it, you know.
Yeah, and sometimes you do that. Now, as Dr. Pillai shared, if you have a headache and it's throbbing and you can't even meditate, or your body is in so much pain that you can't meditate and it's actually exacerbating it, then do your lemons, do your limes, do your coconuts.
Yeah, right.
That is going to be more helpful for you to use some surrogate technology to take the edge off of it.
Yeah, I don't have that. So I'm becoming a pain expert.
Great. Great. Well,
Yeah,
you're probably a great healer. So.
it's really, actually, it's a delicious experience. It's indescribable.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay,
Awesome.
so I'm doing the right thing, I suppose.
You're doing the perfect thing for you.
Okay. Yeah, it's all relative. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jazine. And then to people who are listening in, because we've been introduced to Muruga. Kritika Star is tomorrow, according to the Astroved calendar. And so Kritika Star is a star that we want to honor this being. This is a picture, or sorry, a statue of him. This is Lord Muruga. And you can see he has a little veil that he just threw. So so this statue, you can see his face, he's pretty calm and peaceful. And then this veil has the energy of his mom, the Shakti, the goddess energy. And it represents our backbone and brain. So this depiction here is to bring in Om. The peacock represents Om. So God consciousness, miracle consciousness. So this is a symbol of being a spiritual warrior, where Jazine was sharing that you can tap into his energy and you don't have to do anything. You will just feel the pain, but it'll be burning away like the sun purifying. So a purification is also quite pleasurable, even though it's painful. You know that on the other side of it is just like, such relief. So this is Lord Muruga. This is his veil. We did a meditation, or part of the meditation today, where we invoked his blessings to open up the backbone and brain, and then enliven all the chakras. So this veil, again, this is the one that was blessed by Dr. Pillai. And so it will light up the third eye, and then the shaft of the veil is our backbone with all the chakras lined up, right? So that will give us the energy and intelligence to experience miracles, experience the release of pain, agony, credit card debt just getting wiped away or washed away, any kind of debt, any karmic debt, relationship problems, issues, bickering, fighting, senseless arguing can be relieved with this image of the veil, and then also the practice, which can be just to pour a little bit of water. Where are you? Water. So you can just hold the veil in your right hand, and because the right hand is going to be connecting to the left side of the brain. The left side of the brain is logical, rational, but it's also the spiritual logical brain. So you can take a little bit of water and then just hold it in your hand and drop it, a few drops on the veil. And then that will empower the veil, and you hold on to that, and it just will make that chakra in your hand to connect with your left brain, to go up into the ether and ping Lord Muruga. So all these symbols and sacred objects and statues, they are there for us to hold on to feel, to merge with, to experience, not just chanting the mantra is the God. And so we have that image, and it can be a picture too. You can grab onto that picture with your eyes, you can hold the picture. There's an energy to it. So don't limit yourself. Feel them, touch them, be with them. And then when you use all the spiritual high tech, such as the coconut and the lemon or lime, that really helps you to also experience the release of your karma. So this is Kalabhairava. He's here, he's saying, hey, what about me? And you can see he's got a dog as his vehicle, or his animal that is associated with him. And you think about a dog. If you have a pet dog, you're up first thing in the morning. You have to walk it, you have to feed it, you have to pay attention to it. It can't do it on its own. So it makes you to really use your time wisely. And then he's here depicted with different symbols in his arms. And then he's got flames around his head. So he is the God who manufactures time. He manufactures the time-space continuums for each of the divine beings, the planets, all the celestial beings in the universe are under his command. So it makes sense that when we call on Kalabhairava, he will help us to manage time more wisely. With greater ease, miracles can happen, things can speed up for us that we would think, oh, we have to wait for it. It will just happen. So today was a window of time. He most likely called you to be here today and receive these special blessings coming from him during this window of energy where his power and intelligence is available. So that's Kalabhairava. You can get yantras here too. There's a beautiful yantra I've gotten over the years. It's a variety of them. And so when you participate in Kalabhairava services that are offered through Pillai Center Ashravid, you'll get one of these fabulous yantras, which is a machine. And you'll just be like, you can light a candle and maybe pour a little bit of water on it, offer a flower, piece of fruit, and light, incense. And then you just sit in front and you just start to merge with this sacred geometry. This is sacred science, it's math, it's geometry. Not like the geometry that we had to learn in school. This, you don't have to figure it all out. You just sit in front of it and it will light up your consciousness. Hello. Who's there? Ginny?
Yes, it's me. Can I speak?
Hi, nice to see you.
Just a quick question. You had mentioned in one of the past calls about if it's your star day, you do something special. What is the thing that you do if it's your star day?
If it's your star day, it's like having a birthday.
Okay.
So your nakshatra, what is your nakshatra, Ginny?
It was just a couple of days ago, Revati.
Revati. So Revati, yeah, Revati is the star for Lord Vishnu. So you can get your wishes fulfilled. So you would do, you know, you would propitiate that deity. You could give them tulsi or just say the mantra, Om Namo Narayanaya. So there are lots of different things you can do to tap into the energy of that star. If you go on to Astrobed, I think under free learning or in the blogs, you can read about your star and then just do those activities that are really empowered on that star day.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
hi, Katya.
Lovely, lovely. It was so nice to meet you at Guru Purnima too. I always say, oh my God, you're the one who lives in paradise.
Yes. Yes, and it was great meeting you too, really. It was such a pleasure. Thanks.
Aw, sweet. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. God bless. I think Shivalata had popped up. Are you there, Shivalata? Oh, it's so nice to hear from you.
225.
I'm not sure if you're still here, but if you are, pop up. And then there was some other people who were on, but I had to mute you because it sounded like you were in the kitchen or something. So I'm just going to read the chat now until anyone else wants to jump in.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Patty.
Hi, Patty. How are you?
Hi, I'm running a Rahu, Sasha, and I'm really confused at a lot of things. How do I decipher what is real and what is just in my head?
Yeah, Patty, that's it's a tough one. It's 18 years. I went through it myself. And
I'm going through the end. It's my end. So it's really confusing. I have a lot of enemies right now, and I just don't know what to do about it. And it's like, are they my enemies? Are they not? Are they, is it all in my head? I don't know what to do.
right. So, Patricia, what you can do is get a live astrology consultation.
But I have no money. See, the thing is, I'm being held down because I'm with an abusive man, and he holds me down with the money. He doesn't give me a dime. I haven't seen $5 in months. And he pays all the bills and he goes grocery shopping. And my daughter and we've been stuck here. And he just turned in eviction papers. So I don't know how to get out of it. And I'm like really just confused. I don't know what to do because I have no money.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for you. Is there any way that you can reach out to like a shelter, a women's shelter, or friends who can help to guide you? Because here's something on the spiritual path, we can give you spiritual tools, but if you're in a situation that is, that it's harming you, you need to get professional guidance, professional support. So that's what I would recommend, is to go to your church or go to somewhere where maybe if you don't even go to church, just go there, because it's free and they can help to guide you. They can, you can look up online for support and guidance, and they will give you step by step on what it is that you can do to come out of your situation.
Well, I've been through this before, and my kids were kidnapped by their father, even with the domestic violence restraining order, even with another order signed by the judge. They were still kidnapped by their father, and it's because the judge didn't look through my paperwork, and he didn't bother to. I thought he did. He held it up and he said, "This is the biggest response I've ever seen," and he didn't. Little did I know, he didn't even read it, and he awarded him custody. And one of my last memories of my kids was just like seeing them crying, reaching their arms out to me. And I went and I got a lawyer, and I got a lawyer finally 4 years later, and he tried to submit that evidence, and the judge called it hearsay and threw it out, and I still don't get to see them. So it's hard to go that route because it didn't work before. I've already been through it.
Yeah, every moment is new. So you're a different person. And you have to trust in the divine, that the divine, it's going to be different this time. So you're a great soul. You're under tremendous duress, I can hear. And we're all here to pray for you, to hold that space and encourage you spiritually to go and take those steps. Even if you had a bad experience in the past, just go take the steps to go get help that you need. And there will be a divine intervention, and it will be different this time.
Okay, because right now I'm going to go, he's going to evict me, so I don't think I have any choice but to sue him for my lost time. Like I you know, stay here with my daughter, and I so he could work, and I've been trying to get him to give me some time so I can go work, but he's not doing it.
Right,
And
right.
so
So it's best
I'm
if you can get the support from Patty, from someone who can help you in your area, and then we'll support you with prayers, and we'll support you with kind words and encouragement. But please, please reach out to someone who can help you with the next steps that you're going to take.
okay.
God bless you, and thank you so much for sharing and being so vulnerable. And we're all sending you love and support, and please keep us in touch and let us know how you're doing.
Okay.
God bless.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye. So that's what it is. You know, it's challenging for all of us. So when we are faced with the karmas, and during Rahu, it's a very confusing time, but it's also a very powerful time to connect with spirit. So to get connected to your spiritual path is going to help to unfold the support that you need to clear up the confusion. So God bless Patty and everybody who is in that situation. You can feel it's tremendous duress. And we're here to support you, although we cannot give psychological counseling or guidance like that. That's beyond our capacity. However, the blessings are great, God is great, and we trust that that is going to help to wake up that inside of everyone who is in that situation, to just go and reach out. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. Every moment is new. It's not just a saying. It's every moment has a potent opportunity for us to step out of our pain and suffering, and then allow the divine to come in and show us that helping hand. The divine always comes through other people, phone calls. It might be something that we read. It might be something that someone else says and we overhear it. Not that we're eavesdropping, but it will just be the thing that we needed to hear. And then that will help us to take the next step that is going to keep us safe and help us to get out of our suffering.
Hi, Sucharita.
Hey, how are you, Sivakami?
I am doing very well. I just can I just say something, make a comment for Patty?
Yes.
You know, I can relate absolutely, and I just wanted to say, you know, Patty, I just hold on to God. Just hold on to God, and I totally understand your situation. I've been in a situation not as deep as you are, but the worst situation. And if you hold on to God, there will be light and there will be a way shown to you. And for your kids, I asked somebody who has kids who is close to Babiji. I said, you know, I'm so worried about my child. And she said to me, you know, I asked Babiji, and he said, just first of all, stop worrying. And then if it really gets, you know, your worries, just put your child to Babiji's feet and just say, here, Babiji, just take care of my child, please. And your child will be protected. So I think the thing that you're on this call and you shared what's going on with you, I think it's already a breakthrough, because there's so many people who are praying for you. And it feels like you're alone, but you're not. There's a lot of people who are praying for you now. So there will be a way out for you, and there will be light for you.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing, Shivakami. And here's if you're still here, Patty. There's some people who are posting notes on the chat. If you are in an abusive situation, you can contact the local women's shelter or a women's center subsidized by your region, and keep chanting one of the mantras by Dr. Pillai. So that's from Anastasia. And I know that Anastasia is a healthcare provider. She helps people out of these kinds of situations. So there's a professional advice there for you. And, you know, everyone who has been in an abusive situation, we all know it's not easy to see straight, to think straight, to know what to do at any given point in time, because you're just trying to survive. So with this conversation that's going on, there's a lot of divine support, and I want to keep a smile on my face because I know you're going to get through this. We're going to all get through our challenges if we put it at the feet of God, as Shivakami said, and as Dr. Pillai shared, God first. If we are struggling, it means that we are trying to do it ourselves. And that's so hard for us to give up. And it is so easy once we do. And it's almost like we have to get to that point where there's nowhere else to go. And then we finally fall on our knees and cry. I do. And just say, I cannot do it. I leave it at your feet. I leave it at the feet, because the feet of the teacher or the master or the Lord, that's where you get the blessing. They can just reach out their hand and put it on your head and calm your brain and make you to think clearly about the next step. So the suffering is optional, and God first is always what's going to clear the way, clear our minds, clear our hearts, and know that whoever is going to come into our life next is going to be helping us. Hi.
I'm still on the phone. Oh, hi. Am I
Hi,
on?
Patty. Yes.
Oh, thanks for the prayers and everything. I actually have this guy that came to my rescue. He's this real big tattooed guy, and he had to grow up in a family with abuse, so he stood up to my boyfriend. And my boyfriend won't push anything any farther because he's scared of him. So he's my angel right now. But if you hear his stories, they're really, really sad, and it bothers me that he was never. His mom felt she didn't have a way out, and she had to suffer through all this abuse. So I think it's about time women get their power back.
Yeah.
I mean, things need to change. Things need to change. I mean, I'm thinking about going to court and suing him for lost wages and forcing him to take responsibility for the time that I need to go work to provide a roof over my head. And I feel if I go to the women's shelter and I do all this, it's not going to really change things. It's going to, women are still going to remain powerless.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Patty, but try it this time. Try going there, because there is going to be someone, or there is going to be some breakthrough. So when we go into it's not going to help, then we're creating our own blocks. So please know that you've got your guardian angel there who's going to stand up for you and be that big presence, but also take the steps. And the divine will be there, and everyone here is praying for you. So we're wishing you all the best, and you can share all your ideas and all your concerns with your lawyer, whoever it is next that you have to be guided to do that. And we will be in touch.
Okay, because I have a very strong case. I wasn't raised this way. My father
For sure.
respected my mother. My father gave complete mutual respect to my mother, and that's what I'm used to.
For sure. And it'll come back. So God bless you, and we will be in touch.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your prayers.
Oh, you're very welcome. God bless.
God bless you too.
Thanks. Bye-bye. So there we have it, right? This is real time situations that people go through. And, you know, it's so important for everyone that is on this spiritual path to also take the steps in your life. We must take the steps in our life, take the action. But always first, before you even get off the bed, so you can clear your mind and your body and your soul, you call on the Lord first. You call on God first. And then the miracles start to happen, right? We will start to find a way out. So we chose, I know we don't want to hear this, especially when there's a crisis. We chose this to learn something. And we've all been through very challenging times in our life. It's not a comparison, but it's so that you know everyone out there who is suffering or who feels the suffering of this particular person, Patty, who's going through an abusive situation, that the divine is showing us this situation so we can find a way out. That's what we have to do. Our soul wants to find a way out. So it needs to connect with God, and then God helps you to find the way out. So it's beautiful, and thank you so much for sharing, and everyone here for praying and supporting Patty as she navigates what she needs to do next. So Pranava is sharing that you can call her as well. Patty, if you're still there, her number is on the chat. And thank you, Pranava.
I'm on the phone. I don't have the number.
Okay, can I give it out? Do you have a pen?
Yeah, I do. Okay.
Wow.
I don't want to give her my karma, though. I don't want to give her karma.
She's offering it. She's a beautiful
Okay.
woman. I love Pranava. She's full of God. She will help you.
Okay.
So it's 323
Okay.
854
Okay.
7575.
Okay.
And her name is Linda.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Patty. God bless. See, look, it's happening already.
Okay, I'm gonna call her right now. Is that
Sure,
good?
I don't know if she's on the phone or she's on this call, so maybe she'll pick up. But please, yes, definitely reach out.
Okay.
God bless, Patty.
God bless you too.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Pranava, and thank you everyone who's posted your support. This is the goddess coming through. Okay, so is there anyone else who has any questions or shared experiences? I love power time practice. It's so real. It's real time. And this is how we know when we just reach out to God and we go beyond our ego, which says, oh, don't ask for help. Just push it out there, put yourself out there, and God will help. So thanks again, Pranava. Thanks, Anastasia, and everyone, Shivakami, everyone who posted and who is praying for this divine intervention so Patty can get some relief. This is the goddess. This is a sign. How do we know God or goddess is coming through? This is it. So
Good morning.
hey, Devi, how are you?
Beautiful, beautiful, Goddess Sharita. Thank you for a beautiful meditation.
Welcome.
You know, the experience was very dynamic. When I opened my eye from meditation, tears started falling out of my right eye. And I was like, wow. seemed like really big tears. I was like, wow, what's going on? What is this? And I heard you comment to the other woman that it's a presence of your soul. Are you saying tears?
Yeah, so your soul is like the sun. You know, when you look into the sun, your eyes will tear up, right?
Hmm.
So when you're looking inside and the soul is shining like the sun, that energy, that grace, that intelligence, that's why we take our spiritual path like step by step, because if we get it, all the soul's consciousness, if it comes all at once, it can be like a burning bush. We can be like barbecue, right? It will just burn us up. It's too much. So the divine will just show us, and through the tears that are coming, just as you would looking into the sun's light, your eyes will get teary-eyed, and that's the soul. Inside the soul, when you go and you connect with these divine beings, and they're pouring that consciousness into your soul, or aligning with that consciousness of your soul, and saying, hey, here's some food for your soul, just a little bit of appetizers, because we can't give you the full smorgasbord or buffet, you'd blow up, right? So you can have that experience where you're moved to tears and you don't even know, it's not really related to any emotion. It's a spiritual connection, and that's the truth.
You know, I had a question about Vishwamitra.
Okay.
When I've read or I've heard that he searched for Bazi for 1,500 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious, nobody ever comments, was he alive for 1,500 years? Who was around to know that he was around for 1,500 years? And I just never hear a comment about that 1,500 years to get the mantra Bazi.
Yeah, so it's a great question, and I'll try to answer it in a way that makes sense.
Okay.
So what happens when we are all on this spiritual path? He was a great king, he was an emperor, and he could not give wealth to everyone, otherwise the kingdom would have no money to run itself. So what he did is he went to a great guru, a great master, and he became a great master himself through his own effort, because the master just didn't want to teach him. He just said, oh, you're just an arrogant king, forget it. You're never gonna attain spiritual heights. So he said, forget it. I am gonna do that. With or without you, I'm gonna do it. So eventually he did get taught by the master, but what happened to him was that he kept going. And even the gods in the heavens were like, holy crap, this guy is really gonna, he's got so much spiritual energy, so much spiritual power, the whole world is gonna blow up. So he just kept attaining greater and greater and greater heights. And so as we go into higher heights or into space, what happens? Time goes really fast. So you can be in the space for 8 years, come back to the earth plane, and a lot of more years have gone by, right? People die in that time. But in 8 years on the earth plane, nobody's dead, if they're young, the 8 years goes by, right? So it's different timing. So the 1,500 years are in his light body, his light being is going to those great heights into the space and trying to seek out in the Akash. So the space is not just some place that's above the earth plane or surrounding us. It's a consciousness. And in that consciousness, there are different time-space continuums, and they all vibrate at different frequencies. So for example, one day here on the earth plane is equal to, 365 days on the earth plane is equal to 1 day in Brahmaloka or something like that. So everything speeds up. Does that make sense?
Yes. The first thing that comes to my mind is time jumping or quantum.
Yes, exactly. But then if you have to quantify it, because no one knows it was 1,500, 1,300, 1,400, because it doesn't exist or equate here on the earth plane. It's only like a unit of time. that can be kind of like measured or relatable to where he went with its consciousness. But it's what it means is that in these high states, we can grab on to technology from the year 3000. Here we are in 2018, and we just, all of a sudden, an idea comes to us from the year 3000. Do we know that it was the year 3000? No, but maybe in the year 3000, we'll go, oh my God, I had that idea in the year 2018. Now, the beauty of being on a meditator is that you can come up with great ideas and you could live them now and enjoy it now.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, now.
Is that helpful in answering your question?
Yes, it is, because I was like, how come nobody ever questioned this 1500 years? Why? I've never heard any comment toward that, about this Brazil for the people. I was like, But yes, that definitely helps.
Great.
Now, you had this question earlier, and I'm going to repeat it from my personal gain. My nakshatra is Bharani, and it's there today. And if you could just give me a little pointers, a couple of pointers to really tap into this energy, because I heard you say it's like your birthday, your solar return. And so when I think of your birthday, you do things that make you feel good, or you make a wish. I was just curious. Bharani, of course, that's the Lakshmi, that's Shri Prasad, yes! So I was just, taking advantage of, just want to make sure that I really consciously focus and tap into this energy, because I feel like I haven't been to my fullest potential. And I did receive my yantra within the past month, Shrimbraji yantra. So I just need a little encouragement to tapping into aligning with this energy for the fullest potential.
Well, first of all, welcome, Bharani, star sister, because that's my star.
Yes!
So, and the star for Bharani star, because it is today's.
Bharani, okay, Bharani, okay.
Bharani, yeah. So it is as a great star, as Dr. Pillai has shared, to do spiritual practices. So naturally for you, you will want to do more things internally. So although the goddess Lakshmi represents, comforts and material and all the rest, especially on the waning cycle of the moon, it's a better time for us to go inside and do some cleaning up, because Bharani star will also help you to create. She'll help you to, all of a sudden, spontaneously, you will have all these wonderful ideas. So the star for Bharani, the energy behind the star Bharani also gets rid of toxins, so spiritual toxins, spirits that are attaching to you, things that are of the other world, the occult world. Bharani always gets into that. She loves it for some reason. And because then it helps to, she's associated with the god Yama. So Yama is the god of death. So it helps with those people on the other side that are suffering. So, you might feel connected to your ancestors even more and want to do some more Tarpanam this week especially, and start today on your star day. Today is a day for getting rid of hard karma. So Bharani is also associated with purifying, burning. So you can purify, burn incense, burn the candle, the ghee, and then offer it to your favorite god or goddess. Work with Shrimbraji, because yes, she's associated with Bharani star as well. And then Lord Shiva is also associated with Bharani star. So we're talking about Bharani star because this is the day. This is her time today, and it just happens to be DB's mini birthday as well. So that can help you with karma busting and keep you on your path. So it's a great star. It's a very intense star. And in fact, they say it's people who are Bharani star, they go through intense karmas in a lifetime, or many lifetimes, and they're here to finish that off. And then they will benefit by having the joy of doing their spiritual practices, even if it's tough. So it's natural for you to have challenges, DB, and it's also, you will have the miracles of getting to the other side. I think it was Jadine who said, you know, it's so pleasurable when the pain is over.
Yes, thank you. That was very helpful. I think the Yama part of the Tarpanon,
Yeah.
that I can definitely relate to that. And, you know, I wanted to say, I would like to request some prayer from the group,
Okay.
because I'm going through some challenges with my living space. I really want to manifest a new home, because when I'm not in, I'm having you know, challenges to, they want me to move, and I'm being they come into my place when I'm not here and just, you know, mess with my personal items and, you know, write things on the walls and the floor, and it's just, you know, it's not good. You know, and I think about these different ways that we, you know, well, what am I learning from this? Well, I definitely, because of these challenges, I feel like you say, well, what are the lessons that I'm to learn? Feel like, you know, I increase my sadhana, my spiritual practice, my faith, because it's not a good feeling when you leave and someone's coming in your space and doing things. I mean, it's like the worst, and it's not like, you know, when the other woman was experiencing her challenges earlier, with your abuse, you were like, well, how did I call this abuse upon myself? You see what I'm saying? And you know, what am I supposed to learn from this? So I really need prayer to focus on a new space. And yes, it was one other thing I wanted to ask about, but I really feel the Bharani and the Yama was very, very helpful. And I just really want to make it through this. I really, really do.
Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing, DB, and definitely we will pray for you, and I'm sure that people are going to light up the board. So check the chat out. And also, we have to take the steps. We must take the steps. So start, DB, get out into new neighborhoods. Start taking the steps, and something will appear. And you will think, oh my God, I'm in this neighborhood and I'm going to pay the exact same amount of rent, and it's a beautiful neighborhood. So God will show you. So you have to be with God, God first, it's in you. Don't think about running away from this bad situation and putting all your attention on that. Yes, pay attention to it, but it's like, don't let it drag you down and say, why is this happening? You've already seen that, there's a lesson, now take the action. Get out and get into a neighborhood. Start looking in Craigslist or whatever it is, wherever you are, you know, and look for the new place. And you will be amazed, because that's how I got my space. It was like moving into this beautiful neighborhood, and I thought, oh wow, you know, it's going to be so much to pay every month. And it was just like, oh my God, I'm only paying a little bit more than what I was paying for like a third of the size. And you know, being in a neighborhood that was so busy and noisy and loud, and so it happened, and it continues to happen for all of us who just go out go to that place where you want to live, and the place will show up for you.
Yes, you know, thank you. Actually, you know, where I live, I actually live in a very nice neighborhood in Berkeley. I mean, I live 2 blocks from Whole Foods, you know, so it's a very
Yeah, but
nice,
it could just be a different street, you know?
yes. And, you know, it's very quiet, it's very lovely. And, but I know it's time to go, and I just need that support. And I think the key thing that you said is like the action, the taking the steps, you know, just having the faith and the determination. That seems to be my, you know, I look and then I get frustrated and stop, you know, but I just, you know, to just keep taking that step and stepping in faith. I think that's my greatest challenge.
It doesn't have to be a challenge. It's your next thing that you need to do. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it, Nike. Anyway, I want to say, Shrim Brazil, Shrim Brazil, Shrim Brazil. Thank you, Dr. Pillai, Sucharita, Goddess Sucharita, and the team.
God bless you, DB. Have a beautiful birthday today.
Shrim Brazil.
You're going to do it. You're going to do it. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shweta, are you there?
Hi,
Shweta?
Sucharita. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I thank you once again for an amazing meditation. I feel like I'm building my relationship with Lord Muruga. A few weeks ago, I was just in transit on the bus and I opened my eyes and there was a woman with a peacock tattoo on her foot. And then I went to a client's home the other day and she had this feathers by the entranceway. So the peacock shows up in different ways. And even when I'm chanting the different Muruga mantras, because I have the Muruga program, which has the various mantras, so I'll just kind of put it on my playlist on Tuesdays or whichever the other stars indicate it. And what I'm finding, and as usual, I just kind of go with the flow. There's certain mantras that will, you know, resonate more than others. So today, when you were chanting the mantra, you chanted Muruga Kumura Guha, and then you alternated with the Na. So the sound vibration or the vak with the Na. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Okay, I'm going to do a pop quiz with you, Shweta, because you're so intellectual. So what does the sound Na relate to?
Earth.
All right. So whenever you hear that at the end, so Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan, you're bringing him into the earth plane. So you're feeling it in the earth plane. And then when you say Murugaha, Kumara, Guha, you're going up to the space. So we went up to the space, grabbed the energy, then we also wanted to feel it inside of us.
Nice. Great. Thank you so much. That makes sense. Yeah, I was just kind of chanting when you were doing, then I'm like, wait, I kind of,
See?
wait, she didn't say the no part, so let me ask her what's
Yeah, and this is the beauty. So people say, how do the sounds work? How do these syllables make a difference? The speech or the talk or the vok of the spirit is all in syllables. It's vowels and consonants. It's that which has so much meaning. It's so rich that it can't even be described. It can only be felt. And that's what you just shared is like, hey, wait a minute. There's a different feeling here. There's a different consciousness coming in. And that's the divine is saying, pay attention, even to a little consonant that was added. What does that mean? What is it doing to me? Right? So it's great. Thanks so much, Shweta.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, I will try that when I'm chanting again with just the difference. Yeah, because even when you were doing it, now you describe it, you're going rising, so we could feel it. That more now that I reflect back in my kind of feeling memory, like I could feel a more rising of it, and then whoosh, so it's great.
All right, and Dr. Pillai gives it in two ways because there are some days where we just want to go to the highest heights that we can because it's so, we feel stuck on the earth plane, but then we want to feel the grace and the presence of the God here on the earth plane. So we don't want to space out or get out of our body. He's the God of the third eye. So he's going to make us to feel a little bit unbounded or ungrounded. But then Muruga's energy, he's the one who said when he lost the competition with his brother where his brother won the mango. We'll talk about that in a different call, but he just he had a hissy fit basically, and he said, oh, I'm out of here. I'm going down to the earth plane then, and I'm just going to rule the earth plane. So Muruga brings God consciousness to the earth plane through our chakras, through the veil, through his being, just that spiritual warrior that we all have to be. And, you know, all of us have challenges, and none is better or worse than the other. It's just what our soul wanted. So if we go, oh my God, that's so terrible, you're going through it, we're actually pouring that energy into the person. They've already got enough mess. We have to put more light into the situation and light up that their consciousness, because they can't see, they're just so confused, or there's so much darkness. So we, with Lord Muruga, will be that light unto others that is not something we're thinking about. It's just that will be pouring through us. So bring in the God who is on the earth plane, so readily available, with adding that to the sound. And then it can go up and create from the heavens and bring that creative energy or potential in.
Got it. Great. Beautiful. Thank you. And it's okay. I have another question, but that's okay.
You can ask. Go ahead, Shweta. I missed you. I missed everybody last week.
I know. It felt like forever. But
I know, right?
With Lord Muruga, I think it's the story related, but is he one of the children that was miraculously conceived?
He came through Shiva's third eye.
Yeah, there was no union, right? Is he the child that was conceived with no union?
Yeah.
I forget which story. Okay, guys, so that's where the third eye connection comes in as well.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So, and then it can not supersede Shiva's energy. I mean, there's no competition, but like, I don't know how to word it, but
yeah, he did. He became the teacher of his dad, because his dad forgot the meaning of Om.
Oh,
and so Muruga said, "Hey, if I'm going to teach you Om, then I get to be the teacher, right?"
Right. Cool, got it. And that the peacock you said stands for Om as well. So.
The peacock is Om, and Om is miracle consciousness.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Yay!
Cool.
Thanks, Shweta.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's so fun to see when all the, you know, everything starts to click. Oh my goodness, all these practices we've been doing, all these stories that we've been exposed to, the myths of these divine beings and archetypes, and we feel their presence through the teachings or the practices or the initiations or the services that we participate in. We're really serving our soul. And we're giving our soul the food that it wants, the knowledge that it wants, and that is true wealth. So thanks so much for sharing, Shweta.
Yeah, you know, when you say that, what comes up for me is, you know, we always say in these type of, you know, maybe with Pillai Center or any other type of, you know, there's pieces to this puzzle that we call life. But what I'm starting to feel is that, yes, I mean, the imprints, right? Like the puzzle is already done. It's already there. So I'm beginning to see, or not see, but more like feel like that the complete puzzle is there already. And then it's just like embedding these different like pieces into it versus, does that make sense? Before it felt like, oh, pieces to form, but it's already formed and there. And now these pieces are just kind of, it's like more of a confirmation or connection, or I don't know, whatever the word is.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And so we're connecting it all. But here's the thing, once you figure it all out and the puzzle is there and you see it all and you know how it all clicked together, guess what happens? That bursts and you get a new puzzle. So, that's what, it's great though, this analogy, because it gives us kind of a picture in our minds or something we can relate to that allows us to, you know, we've reached a state of consciousness, we've got it, and then another state of consciousness comes. So we're just always climbing to that higher peak and looking out and saying, oh, what does it look like now? So, oh, I think I'll go to that peak, or I'll have this adventure. So really it is an adventure in consciousness, and the spirit is not, is always going to be moving. It's not going to ever stay solid. So the puzzle is there, click, 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 and go to the next one. Because there's going to be beautiful pictures and beautiful places that you go with your conscious mind, and also in this world. And you'll, as Dr. Pillai says, when you appreciate the beauty of your body, the beauty of your mind, the beauty of your soul, the beauty of the cells, the beauty of the DNA, the beauty of your ancestors, the beauty of all realms, then you are just like, you're so fulfilled. And that's what the journey is. It's such a fulfilling, rewarding journey, knowing that every moment is going to click, something comes in and you go, whoa, this is cool. And whether it's an intellectual understanding or something spiritual or emotional, something is going to move you. Something someone does is going to move you, and you're going to see the puzzle change even before you've seen it all complete. You're looking at every piece, but then, something just changed. Hey, wait a minute, it's a matrix moment, So we don't want to get too caught up or attached to how it's all going to roll out and how it's all going to look and feel. So just knowing that every moment is new, and you could turn and it's like, wow, this is such a cool picture, and I never would have seen this part of the puzzle looking this way.
Yeah, no, so true. And when you talk about the conscious mind, and then with these puzzles or something that will appear, can you share a little bit about your and through Dr. Pillai's teachings around the subconscious mind, of how what you just shared, in this kind of puzzle, because that's what we're really going for, right? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
Subconscious. So I was just wondering, with your experience or with Dr. Pillai Bhalbhaji's teachings, if you can shed more light on that part.
Yeah, so the subconscious mind is just that. Sub means below, right? So it's below or behind the conscious mind. So the conscious mind is that you're alert, you have your awareness of what's going on in your everyday life. Thoughts are coming in, but who is directing those thoughts, or where are they coming from? So the subconscious is where all these divine beings hang out. So we can have an individual subconscious mind or thoughts that are pinging us. And so it's just below the surface of our mind. It's coming from our intuitive self, or maybe it's coming from our ancestors pinging our genes, or it's coming from something within us. Then there's the collective unconscious or subconscious that says, hey, just behind the scenes or below us, below our level of awareness, is something magical going on, or something really wild going on, and I'm getting out of control. It's taking over me. So then that's where these archetypes come in: gods, goddesses, divine beings, planetary beings. And then once we understand how to communicate with them, like we do in Power Time practice, we just tap into their energy of this time. And then we get to know them. We get to start to play with their technologies that they give us. And then that is how we can shift the picture of the puzzle, or the pattern of our thoughts, or how we are taking action in our everyday routine. So all of those are kind of like things step by step, or pieces put together. So the subconscious, or the collective unconscious, the energy and intelligence behind our conscious mind is what where the archetypes live, and where they pump in the intelligence into us.
Right. Cool. To de-pattern, deprogram, so our life can look different and change.
Yeah. So when you visit, for example, today we're visiting Kala Bhairava. Do we know that or not? Well, we do here.
Yeah.
Because we are aware his energy is readily available. Bharani star, that's the star. I say she because I'm it. So I want to take that as me. It's all about me. But it's a goddess energy. That's what it is they say that Bharani star is like Shakti. It's the highest Shakti energy. It's very intense energy. And those people who know me, they'll be like, you're so intense to be around. I'm like, what? I don't feel that way. But, you know, if they're around me too long, they do feel it. And I don't hang out with people that long, except here, of course. So, but it is, I can feel the energy. It's really strong, and people will like literally pass out. It'll be so tired. They'll be falling asleep, and I'm just talking about the weather. So it's not me, I hope. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm boring and they pass out. That's fine. So Bharani star is a really strong energy. The moon is the 8th moon. So the 8th moon is going to make all these kind of inquiries come up on the waning cycle. We're going more internal. We're trying to figure things out. 8th moon is also associated with you know, the goddess that destroys negativity. So all that can be in the mix. So whenever we know what day it is and what time it is and who's there, it's like we're opening a door every day to a new party that we're invited to. And that's what Dr. Pillai shared too. Being on the path can be depressing. So God is not a killjoy. God is not depressing. So don't feel like you're on your own. He says, go have an ice cream, go do something, go dance, go, you know, run in a field, go do something that creates joy, because it's the God or the goddess that says, hey, I'm here with you on the earth plane. So let's go do something fun, you know, and fun can be today to go into your meditation, and you will have a lot of fun. So it doesn't mean you have to physically go out and run around or do stuff. It can be you go inside and you will seek the fun in there by tapping into the collective unconscious that's there. You just have to be present to it and get the gifts.
Totally cool. Nice. What you just shared, it just leads me to another thought or question of, you know, Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan. I know I know Sanskrit, so I know some of the made possible meanings for it, but I figured I'd ask, yeah, what your resonance is for the mantra.
Murugan, Kumaran, Guhan is, sorry, the question.
The meaning.
The meaning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they're names of Lord Muruga, and it means to be beautiful. Muruga means beauty. So, and it gives the beauty of the soul, beauty of the body. Guhan is like to go to the highest. It's like you're just there. You're connected to the highest. And then Murugan Kumaran is also a name for Muruga, and he helps to, I believe it is, he helps you to like be brave, be courageous. But I think you can Google it. Shweta, that's your homework. Google the sound. And then see what the meaning is. But they're names of Lord Muruga, and then the characteristics or the qualities that come through are just like us. Like Shweta, you are an Ayurvedic practitioner. You're also a daughter. You're also a really good friend. So you have different qualities or different characteristics that shine through your shiny being. Mm-hmm. So depending on, you know, what you have to be in that moment, that's like the gods. They have all these different names.
Got it. Cool. Great. All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. God bless.
You too. Have a great day.
Thanks. So we're talking about Muruga because we want to be in our third eye, right? Some people were saying, oh, my third eye is open. And I always say to them, oh, did a dead body come to life? Because that's how you will know if your third eye is completely open. Everyone's third eye is to some extent or another open. But again, being on the spiritual path, it's all about tapping into that awareness or that energy of God consciousness at any given moment in time that you need it. You can't control God. You can't, understand when God is going to come through. So having the third eye open completely is when you're just going along and a dead body comes to life. You didn't even know that it was dead, but it came to life and then fell at your feet. And that's the great saints and the sages, the siddhas, the path of the light body, where they're just here to be of service. They're mixing and mingling with everyone, and they're bringing God consciousness into everyone's lives such that even the dead can come to life. So, you know, if you've got some city powers where you're clairvoyant, clairaudient, or you're psychic, you can get lost in that. We always want to go higher. So Lord Muruga will always take us higher and keep us in that pure path where we're gone. We're out, God is in. So we want to be out all the time, be fully present, but God is in. So, Gia, did you want to share something?
Hello.
Your hand is up. Ah, there you are.
Hi, Sucharita. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I had a sort of a sharing and a sort of a question, I think. But it's just since the 3-day Guru Purnima event, quite a few things. I've had quite a few questions kind of come up in my mind and quite a few shifts. The shifts have been quite profound and really deep. It's kind of been taking things to another level, but at the same time it's made me question a couple of things. And why certain things are happening and why certain things are not happening. So one of the things which you just touched on very briefly, I'm so sorry because I've only just joined, so I don't know if you covered any of this earlier in your call, but I really wanted to have some dialogue. I would have shared yesterday, but the fire lab was really intense and the energy knocked me out. So in terms of sharing to do with that, I don't know if you're in the kind of post-call recording, but I'm happy to share anyway. I kept every time I would wake up, I would see the goddess in the fire, but not the goddess as in a form of the goddess in like a picture. But when I would quickly glance into the fire, like in a half asleep state, I could see her sort of sitting there in like a light form. It was really weird. And it happened 2 or 3 times, and it would just knock me straight out. I couldn't kind of deal with the energy that was coming through, and I could actually feel it yesterday. So that was really powerful, and that was the first Shrimbrisi Fire Lab since the Guru Purnima, so it felt a lot more intense. I don't know if anyone else felt it because I couldn't stay for the sharing. I just knocked out straight away. And the other thing that came up was something that you just touched on about spirituality and depression. And I wanted to know how you can still maintain one foot in the spiritual realm and still maintain one foot in this world. Because I feel it's a bit of a juggling act, and sometimes it's hard because you can almost see through the illusion of what this world really is. And so it kind of pulls you away from engaging too much in what it's got to offer, the sort of sense pleasures. But at the same time, that can kind of really dim life down quite a lot. So you can sort of feel a little bit disconnected and like an observer in this world and feel a little bit detached, which is kind of a good thing, but also not a good thing because it almost then brings in this contradiction of then wanting to accumulate wealth and wanting to accumulate money and wanting to accumulate things that will ease your process in this world. So I was just sort of wondering if you could comment on that kind of double-sided conundrum or paradigm in which, you know, you want to manifest things in this world so you can do more with it and also help others, but also maintain that spiritual connection, because I sometimes find the spiritual connection can almost take you away from the things of this world because you can sort of see through it a lot more than perhaps other people who are not doing, you know, not involved in a spiritual practice. And I don't mean any disrespect to anyone. I'm not saying that in a sort of like, oh, holier than thou way at all. I'm just wondering what your perspective would be on that kind of dichotomy?
Yeah, so it's a really great question. So the first thing that I'll share about or comment on is that when we are merging with the goddess in the fire, and it's overtaking the power and energy, because that's what comes, power and energy comes from the goddess. So it's great. You're having a great experience. And then when you start to see her, she's flashing, or you know, you're having some experience, the third eye is opening. So that's why it has to open a little at a time, and you know, just be taking its time. It's like a breathing in and a breathing out. That's why we say pranayama. We you know, we're breathing into beyond death, beyond that life force that we're all born with, and we're going to die. So this is what we're doing here in this human life: is we're born, we die, and we do everything between, and that's called life. So when we get on the spiritual path, we tap into a new life energy that's concomitant with this birth, death, and everything in between. And so when we do our meditations, we're yoking, we're going away from or detaching from that which is going to end up in death. So we're detaching all along. So pranayama is the practice of controlling the breath, not the breath in the oxygen that we breathe in and the carbon dioxide that we breathe out and all the rest, not the air. It's the energy that is behind our life. So the life force is guiding us, and that is what is pumping up the intelligence to the third eye. It's knocking or pinging the third eye to open up and then help us to see what's behind the scenes. Because, okay, so you go through life, birth to death and everything in between, and then what? So really being on the spiritual path is to prepare ourselves to the then what? So we're preparing ourselves by having these experiences through our meditations, through the teachings, through the experiences, you know, through Fire Labs and other services, that you are realizing that, holy cow, this life is better be about having one foot on the ground and one foot in the other realm, because it's helping me to stay here, to stay tethered to the earth plane until I do figure it all out. Until I do know that once death comes, if that's what is meant to be for your soul at this time, some people are going to go to the light body, and that'll be cool. I'm not even sure how that's going to all work out, but you're going to have experiences that are preparing you for the after party, the death. So pranayama, yama means death, prana means the life force. So you are yoking yourself to the life force to connect with death, ultimately. What's going to happen after that? So whatever we do in the third eye is opening and showing us, they're revealing to us that on the other side are these divine beings, and they're going to be there. So keep doing your practice, even if you feel like you're totally spaced out. You kind of have to be in that state. You can't be in your mental, emotional, physical state, because that's just going to show you a little bit, a part of it. It's just going to peer through like a little hole, right? You can peer through. But the third eye is expansive, it's unlimited, it's all-knowing. So we're tapping into that now here on the earth plane, and we do see the illusion, but who cares? We're just practicing. We're practicing to get ready for that ultimate, when our time comes and the last breath of this life has to be taken, we'll be okay, because we're just going to go on and be on the other side where we've been exposed to all these different beings, and then we will get our footing in that world. So that's what it is, and that's what I would share back with you, just in a little nutshell. So you're going to go through some highs and lows, because nobody wants to face death. No one wants to face the reality that this isn't real. These things that I'm going after, they're not satisfying. But we, as Dr. Pillai shares, if you're on a spiritual path and you totally are a renunciate, where you don't want to have even a begging bowl, that's not a good life. So it can be for some souls, they do that, and it, like you said, Gia, no disrespect, but if it's not your soul's journey, you're going to be upset, you know, if you don't have the comforts around you. So, you know, it's a little bit of a dance, because here I was just recently when I was in the airport in Philadelphia and I was getting rejected. I couldn't get on any plane, you know, and I'm like, okay, Baba, I'm doing Guru's grace. I'm staying in your grace. I've got that mantra playing, the meditation. I'm sitting in between all the flights that are leaving that could possibly get me to San Diego. I was even looking for flights to go back home to Toronto. I was in action, but I was also taking the moments to be really in God's grace. And then what I found out, that there was just a lot of karma that was being burned, because apparently for every hour that you're trapped in an airport and you're going to see your spiritual master, that hour is equal to 1 year of karma. So I was there for about 48 hours. So I got rid of 48 years of karma. That's a whole lifetime, but I'm still alive.
You're very blessed, Sucharita, because as Guru Purnima went on, obviously you got Babaji's personal kind of blessings. So that was pretty phenomenal, but I won't say too much about that because I don't really want to disclose program content. But I do think, yes, I kind of agree. I think you did burn a lifetime worth of karma, probably in the frustration of that. But that's the other thing, which then brings me to the question of Shri Brizi and manifestation, because like sometimes you have to be really clear about your manifestations, about what you'd like. And what
here's the thing, Gia, and I'm just going to interrupt here, because what we've learned is that Shri Brizi will do the thing that's the highest and best for our soul, and that is why we just keep doing it. And then we have our manifestations, because when we just keep doing Shri Brizi, we don't really know if it's working or not. So being in the world and being of this mind and this psychology, we have to give it some food. We have to give it eye candy. You know, we have to have an idea of our manifestations. And then if they don't happen, you will know that it's your highest self. Just like me, I thought, oh my goodness, I should be in a 5-star hotel. Because I'm doing all my Shri Brizi, I'm in Guru's grace. I should be in a limo going from the airport. They should be paying for everything. Those were the thoughts that were coming through my head. So, and when it wasn't happening, I was like, oh my God, now I'm really like, what? You know, this is not working. Shri Brizi is not working. Guru's grace is not working. But then there was a higher purpose that was going on. So I was out of my little mundane world of limited consciousness that just wanted to put me up for the night and be in beauty and comfort, where a better idea would be to just bust some karma and suffer a little bit. So Shri Brizi is going to show you what you want to manifest.
I think you inadvertently answered. Yeah, you inadvertently answered the next part of what I was going to ask you about. When Shri, like, because obviously people say that if you want to manifest something, you have to kind of dedicate your energy.
Yeah.
To that, and then when that doesn't happen, then you're kind of questioning. But you have just answered the next part of my question, because I was going to say, I'm doing my Shri Brizi, I'm doing my practices, I'm doing everything, but I sometimes still feel very blocked because I haven't really had a lot of clients coming through, or I've had a lot of problems and issues with those clients, and things have just not worked out. So we haven't been a good fit and it hasn't gone ahead. So you've just sort of answered my question, which is like, there's something bigger working behind the scenes and you just need to trust it. So thank you. You're very intuitive, Sucharita.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And this is tying in with the question that someone has posted here as well, Gia, is Armin, I think it's Armin, yeah. Is our suffering busting karma? Is that why we suffer? Our karma, okay, so remember the Buddha story? Everything on the earth plane is, there's no God, there's no soul, there's no nothing. He didn't believe in any of it. And he's this spiritual guy who now Buddhism is like all over the map. So what's up with that? So it has nothing to do, God consciousness can be expressed through archetypes. It can be expressed through all kinds of, you know, different traditions. So that's how we look at God, or we experience God. So what is true of this earth plane is suffering. It's karma. So karma, suffering go hand in hand. But we wanted to experience, we wanted to feel what was opposite to God. What was the total going away from God? What was blocking God? Did we know that we wanted to do that? No. We can have insights through astrology that can look into what our soul's journey has been and is going to continue to be in this lifetime. Maybe naughty astrology, that's a deeper layer. Maybe we will work with advisory services, working with Hanuman Das or Kalki Das, those high beings who can look in and see your life and see your suffering and then do remedies to get you out of that. So suffering is like pain causes the suffering. So pain is an indicator that we're just out of alignment with our highest self. So once we get out of alignment, then we're in karma. We're in thoughts that keep us in that pain cycle. So when we bust through the suffering, yes, it busts karma. So karma again is thought. Thoughts become your actions if you decide to move on those thoughts, and they create whatever you're going to do next. So we'll find ourselves when we have pain around us or in our body or in our mind, we will pay attention and go, wow, I don't want to do that. So you'll do things to avoid that karmic barrage of thoughts coming in and taking us over. So Arman is saying, Guru Purnima was the highlight of my life, and I committed to a higher service, and immediately after, suffering started. So that's what happens, right? You're going into a new piece of the puzzle, right? You have been on this plane or this level of understanding of who you are, and now Guru Purnima has opened you up. You're being birthed into a new reality. But you have Guru's grace to deal with this next level of suffering. So the suffering is not like, it can be a drama queen or king kind of thing, but it also can be just an indicator that you need to get higher help. You need to get higher support, more bodyguards. Just like Patty was saying, to have her boyfriend stop beating her. Then a big guy came in, and that presence, he didn't have to do anything, but that presence was enough. So we are going into a new level of our understanding of our evolution of who we are as this evolving soul in this unit called, you know, yourself, your name, or whatever it is that you relate to, or anyone else relates to you. So you've gone into a new level where you're going, whoa, I just broke through, just like a birth process. It's painful. It's frightening. It's, you know, you're all alone. And that causes suffering on so many levels. But then once you call on the divine, all the guards come in, all the helpers come in, and even more, and you understand them more. You become more attuned to them. Your subtle body or your intuition taps in before your brain even computes, right? You don't even understand, but what you'll do is you'll feel. So that's why in this meditation today, maybe all the gods came in, there was a bunch of them, and they said, hey, we're all here. We're all here for you. So you're not going to grope in the darkness that causes suffering. So call on these gods, call on these goddesses. And that will help you to get to your new level of understanding of your soul's evolution. Growth does not happen without some pain. Being on the earth plane is all about that. So you can't avoid it. You just don't have to indulge in it though. You know, if you're indulging in it, then you're in your ego and you just want to, I don't know, you want to have some drama-rama to keep you entertained. But then after a while, it becomes boring and you know, too painful and too debilitating. So you already know that story. I know age and stage, we all come to this point where like, we're not 20 anymore. So I don't have the time or the energy to deal with this. I'll just go right to the God. Thank you so much. You know, just like you would go to the bank and you have a financial situation and you know that the teller is just going to have a limited way of helping you. And then you're going to say, hey, can you just ask for the bank manager? And then the bank manager comes and you can say, hey, could you just get me an appointment with, you know, whatever the department is that you need to get your financial issues sorted out. That's what happens. Just over experience and lifetime and years, you become more wiser in your decision making and your choices that you make. So on the spiritual path, it's the same. So we'll just sit and revel in our, why isn't this thing happening? We'll roll around in it for a while and then we'll just like, forget it. I'm just going to God and everything is happening because of God. God is doing everything. And that's not just a psychological or a blah, blah, philosophical thing. I'm just going to sit still and do God. And whatever happens, even if it is a little painful to be sitting in an airport all by myself in the middle of the night, there's nothing open, and I'm holding on to my dear life, my little purse, and going, Mama. So that's how I know. And this angel showed up, this cleaning lady. She looked like she was about 80, but she had, you know, really she was probably 40. And she just came and she looked up and she said, you're an angel. And I went, no, you are. And she said, do you know that you can get blankets and pillows over there? And you can get some water and something to eat over there. And you can be a little bit more comfortable in the, you know, while you're waiting for your morning flight over there. And so that's what happens. The God will just make an angel to show up or make the God to show up. And then it will just be the next thing that you need just to get through the next thing that you need to get through. So,
Teresa, could I ask another question then?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I wanted to know, based on what you've just said about, you know, I didn't realize your experience for Guru Purnima went like that. Actually, that's a bit, but I'm sure it was worth it in the end because you had such an amazing time and it was so profound. So let's just say if you're in a situation where you feel really, really, really stuck and you have tried and tried and tried and you're still trying and you're doing everything you can, but you're still not really seeing much shifting, then should you head over to advisory services?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I shall be in touch then.
Definitely, Gia. And I was thinking that you actually were pumping that thought into me because I'm like, she should do advisory.
Okay, yeah. I kind of did have a conversation with you about something a while ago,
Yeah.
but I never followed up because of time and all of that. There was stuff going on, but I will contact you again and I will try and sort out something because I do feel like it's like, you know, it's like if you need to remedy situations sometimes, and I'm open to that. So yeah, I'll contact you. Thank you.
Okay, great. You're going to remedy it one way or another. So here's the thing is that it's like, for me, going to Guru Purnima, because it's so fresh and it's so appropriate for this conversation, is that what's going through my mind was like, oh, good, I don't have to spend money on travel and all this stuff. I can just be, you know, purchasing the live stream and sitting in my own home. And that all got, you know, burst into flames. And I just went, okay, put on my credit card. You know, so it was a big investment either way. So sometimes we have to invest in our, you know, the material to get to the spiritual. We have to put in a seed money. But then, you know, the rewards, you just know that God is doing everything. God is telling you, look, a little bit of investment is going to go a long way. The way you're going to invest, you're going to wait a long time and you're going to go through suffering. And who wants to do that? Not me. Did I know anything that's going on? Did I know what was going to happen? No, absolutely not. But I was pulled and the calling was, you get here. And there was a door that was open, if you can. And I was like, what? If I can? Of course I'm going to. You know, so it was an open invitation. It wasn't like you must be there and you must follow what I say. It was like, if you can come. And I was like, don't say it like that because I'll be there. Even though in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to put out money for this and blah, 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 blah. You know, my whiny little diva self, right? So, but my soul was way more intelligent and it just pushed me. And even when I wanted to go home partway through my little sojourn in Philadelphia, it was like, no, you endure this. You just see what's going to happen. There is something. And it was so clear and the directions were like, just do this thing. And then when I got there and all the blessings that came, I was like, wow, that was totally unexpected too. And then when I connected the pieces of the puzzle, I'm going, oh, so that's why that happened. You know, it's always retrospect that we have 20/20 vision. So, you know, you do. You have to do what you have to do. And it's your soul that will say, stop suffering. Stop it. And then you will do the thing that will help you. So I saw things moving again today, but then things at work related to 2 meetings canceled. The main thing is I'm not getting a breakthrough in my income for the past 4 to 5 years. All finances exhausted, please advise. Well, this is what happens, right? In life, we have to really be careful. We have to really watch our finances. We have to get a job or maybe get another job where we have 2 jobs. You know, and all of us have done it. I know I have. When the finances are getting dragged out by maybe the planets or past karmas or whatever, but it's along the same lines as we're sharing, that you've got to know what to invest in. When you invest in your spiritual, that's always going to pay off a higher return. So just watch your finances. I'm not sure who this is posting the note here, but it happens to all of us. And it can be not just finances, it can be relationships, it can be anything that's causing us angst. And we're just getting nowhere and we're stuck in it for a long time. You've got to just keep looking in your life to see how you can resolve that. You need to go to a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor and not claiming to be one, but definitely go and get that sorted out. Because being on the spiritual path is actually making it to be so painful for you that you will take those steps. That's what Dr. Pillai shares too, is the karma will drive us right down to the bottom of us until we take the steps. So no need to go to the bottom. If we already see the pattern is like, it's not going uphill. Like we're not, we're not going into a better state of being. Things are not looking up. We're looking down and whoa, we're going to hit the earth, right? We're flying high and now we're falling out of the plane, my God. So we've got to pull the parachute, and then slow things down and then get the help that you need in a timely manner. And that's what being on the spiritual path is all about, is it will say, hello, like do this for yourself. You're gonna just kill yourself. You know, you're gonna kill everything in your life. So do your pranayama versus doing the dance of death. So the people who are asking when's a good time to sign contracts, go to the Prashna Nadi on Astrovet. It's called Prashna. You ask questions and then that will help you, or get an astrology consultation. So these services are not just something to dabble in. They will show you what to do, and the astrologer will give you the guidance that you need in that given moment in time, or that person with a higher view, so Kalkidas, Hanumandas, will give you the insights that you need that are going to keep you out of trouble. So ask those questions to the Prasna, Prasna. It's a service that's offered through Astroved. And you can ask the questions and say, when's a good time to sign the contract? Because I don't know what your chart is. Everybody's chart is different. Okay, are we complete? Seems like we've come to a close on the questions that are posted to the chat. A lot of energy came in. It was so great to make up for our lost call. last week when we didn't have it, but you were all in my prayers and in my heart and in my thoughts when I was there at Guru Purnima with everyone else, or some of you who were here, come here every week. And so the blessings are there for everyone. It was good to catch up with you. And we will definitely see you in the coming, maybe tonight if you're in Shrimber's Immersion, we'll see you tonight, or maybe tomorrow in Mystery School or in Shrimber's Immersion, or sometime this week if you're interested in doing being a part of the Guru Purnima live stream day 1 or 3 days teachings. They're offered through Pillai Center Academy, and I think Radha had already posted to this chat the link that you can access it, or you can just jump on Pillai Center Academy and go check it out yourself. If it's something that resonates with you, then we have live calls like this where we can share our experiences and go through the teachings and then help to navigate and create a really strong foundation of Guru's grace and this initiation during this time of the year, at this particular year, where it was so powerful. And if you're in Shrimber's Immersion and you're sitting on the fence, definitely you should, because he introduced Shrimber's in a whole new way that now when you do Shrimber's, it's like, oh, that's what Shrimber's is all about, and you're manifesting so much faster. So doing more for your soul is going to speed things up. But do it, with the intention that you're not going to break the bank. Be very clear about what it is that you can and cannot do, and then reach out when you can, and you know that it's going to be a good investment for your soul, and the return will be tremendous. So God bless you all. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Namaste.